Welcome to Everyday Tarot, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille A. Saunders, healer, tarot extraordinaire, and your local witch next door. And today I'm talking about the Ace of Pentacles. Whether you're a seasoned tarot reader or just starting to explore, this podcast offers daily insights, intuitive messages, and practical advice drawn from the cards. Each episode is designed to help you connect with your inner wisdom, find clarity in your decisions, and tap into the energy of the universe. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, for fresh perspectives and empowering guidance from the tarot as interpreted by me. The best way to support the podcast right now is to listen daily, rate, review, and to follow or subscribe in your chosen podcast app. If you're loving the podcast and want to connect with me further, you can check out my Patreon. I'm recording a question and answer episode just for you, so you can go to the Patreon and comment with any questions you have for me, things related to the podcast or tarot in general. If you're local to the greater Puget Sound area, you can join me in person Monday, May 12th from 4:45 to 7 p.m. at the Sumner Library for a potluck and to create your own tarot cards. No experience is necessary. I'll bring all the supplies and we'll talk tarot and craft together. Go ahead and look for the meetup link in the show notes. If you'd like to be the first to hear about upcoming events, presentations, museums, and info and photos of my day-to-day life, you can sign up for my weekly newsletter. If you do so, you'll also get a free PDF with the 2025 5-card tarot spread I created just for you at the beginning of this year when you sign up. If you don't already know, I'm a sex and relationships therapist, seeing clients virtually all over Washington State. I love working with queer, poly, and witchy clients who may be struggling with anxiety, chronic pain or illness, communication issues, self-advocacy, and sex. Book a free 20-minute consultation now to see if we're a good fit to work together. You can find the links for any of these offers in the show notes or on my website, CamilleASaunders.com/everydaytarot, in addition to the images of the cards I pull. All right, so we are into season 7 now, where I'm talking all about the suit of pentacles, going through each card, one per episode. If you haven't listened to the other seasons yet, you can go ahead and check those out. In the first season, I talked tarot basics. In seasons 2 and 3, I went through the major arcana and the 4 suits. In season 4, I talked about tarot and pop culture. In season 5, I went through 13 common tarot spreads. And in season 6, I talked all about the suit of wands. All right, so we're in season 7 now, where I'm talking all about the suit of pentacles. If you want to hear an episode dedicated to an overview of the whole suit of pentacles, you can check out season 3, episode 13. A quote I pulled from the Library of Esoterica tarot book by Tashin was all about pentacles, saying pentacles are the suit of material possession, career, and bodily health. They signify the grounding need for home, hearth, and family. Associated with the element of earth, pentacles allude to matters of business and money, prosperity, and transactions, reminding us to be aware of both our innate generosity and our occasional greed. In a deck of playing cards, pentacles correspond to diamonds. And even within tarot, pentacles sometimes are depicted as spirals or coins. I would say of all of the suits in tarot, it's the one that sort of has the most different representations. All right, so like I said, I'm talking all about the Ace of Pentacles. So images or symbols for this specific card are gardens or plants, beginnings, wealth, connection, animals, sort of like circular things. And I'm looking at 3 different representations of the Ace of Pentacles in my tarot deck. So the first one is in the Therapist Who Tarot deck, prompts by Dreya Blume, and images by Rebecca Blume. And in this deck, they do depict all the pentacles as spirals. I think that this, if we think about sort of things that occur naturally in nature, spirals, right, are a thing that occur, like snail shells or sort of like the Fibonacci sequence, which is the spiraling in nature. So that is part of this. I think also maybe spirals were like the first depiction in tarot. And then later came sort of coins or pentacles, which can kind of be seen as like the same thing. In my Sacervito tarot deck by Sassia Burrington, it depicts a person with like a coin with a pentacle on it, like on their third eye or on their forehead. They have their eyes closed and we're seeing their whole face, and they have like lovely flowers tucked into their hair, and there's like bees going around them. So this is associated with an earth sign or earth energy grounding. So there's often like plants or natural elements depicted in the card. And then in the Goddess of Love Tarot deck by Gabriella Herstick and illustrated by Julia Pesquil, there's a Venus of Willendorf, so the first or like the first known statue that we found depicting like a woman or goddess. That's the Venus of Willendorf. So she's on this card. She has like emeralds going down her, almost in like chakras. There's snakes on either side. There's a lotus flower. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a seven-sided, so a heptagram in the middle. There's also like big ocean waves. So a lot of things are sort of associated with this sort of manifesting or grounding, this sort of circular, like seasonal energy. Yeah, and in the Therapist Who Tarot deck, like I said, this has like sort of a person depicted and then a very large spiral sort of put on top of them. And the word associated with it is manifestation. And in the Therapist Who Tarot deck, there's not a deck guidebook, but there are reflection questions on the back of each card. And it says, what have you been putting off? What change or changes are you resisting? And how do you feel about aging? So very interesting here. Let's go ahead and take a look in some of my reference books to talk about and get a little more understanding of this card. So in the Tarot and Astrology book by Corinne Kenner, they talk about that the Ace of Pentacles is associated with the power of Earth. It says, we are children of the Earth. We spend most of our lives held fast to its surface, tethered to our mother planet by the sheer force of gravity. And we rely on the Earth to support our weight. Earth is solid, practical, supportive, reliable, physical, tangible, and material. Those are all the things that are sort of associated with the Pentacles. Earth, however, is more than just our foundation. It's the very substance of our physical makeup. We rise from ashes and return to ashes, and transition from dust to dust. The Earth is also our vantage point for the vision of the stars. It's our ride through outer space, right? Because again, we are on a planet that is moving at all times, even though it doesn't really necessarily feel like that. The Ace of Pentacles symbolizes all powers of Earth, as well as the Earth signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They respond to the coin-shaped pentacles. Like money, pentacles represent treasure, both material and spiritual. Pentacles serve as a reminder that the tangible objects we prize have significance and meaning far beyond their monetary value. In addition to the prominent coins on each card, the images in the suit often include rich, green, garden-like scenes that serve as a reminder of the Earth's bounty. Pentacles are receptive, and they make an excellent counterpart to the airy energy of the swords. The glyph for the element of Earth is a downward-facing triangle. It features a horizontal line that operates like the force of gravity, forcing the element down to Earth. And the Ace of Pentacles corresponds to the season of winter. All right, in the Library of Esoterica, Tarot book by Tasha, which I referenced earlier, so in specifically talking about the Ace of Pentacles, they say that it's all about goals realized. The Ace of Pentacles signifies the moments in which we imagine and create. This is a card of tangible results and hard work that reaps reward. In the Fearless Tarot book by Elia Adam, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation, they talk about that the Ace of Pentacles are all about prosperous beginnings, symbolizes positive financial thinking, fresh prospects for success. A new opportunity is being presented. It is illuminating your pathway towards a wealthier state of mind. Prosperous thinking begins with knowing your self-worth and expressing gratitude for its existing blessings. Positive thoughts about your possibilities entice even more abundant opportunities to seek you out, like bees to honey. When the Ace of Pentacles appears, a gateway of prosperous opportunities is opening. What is your attitude about your financial life? Do you feel open to receiving prosperity? Are you actively seeking out new opportunities to improve your financial life? The imagery on this card, and this is in the traditional Rider-Waite depiction of the card, shows a divine hand holding a shining golden coin. This symbolizes that Spirit is blessing us with abundance and opportunity every moment of every day. We just might not be seeing it. Humans are impatient creatures prone to lethargy. We want it now. We often say to ourselves, why am I not just getting my reward? I'm spiritual. I thought I could just sit back and let opportunity find me. Isn't that how it works? The Ace of Pentacles presents us with new opportunities, but also requires us to do the work. The Ace of Pentacles depicts a garden. Gardens take time, patience, and work to grow. If approached as a labor of love, the garden will flourish. This illustrates that while you change your mind to think in wealth consciousness in an instant, it doesn't mean that money will suddenly rain down from the sky. You must tend your state of mind just as you would tend a garden. That includes weeding out negative thoughts and habits while having patience with your unique growing process. You would never get frustrated with the flower for not blooming 2 days after the seeds were planted. Why would you expect your life to display a finished product immediately? It says the garden also often features a gateway. This represents the doors of success that are currently opening to you. In the distance beyond the gate are mountains. The mountains represent stability, reputation, and overcoming obstacles. It may be time to increase your public profile and being seen. It says in Feng Shui, it is believed that a picture of a mountain hung on your fame wall can increase personal renown. The fame wall is the wall that faces the door you habitually enter your home through. Are you courageously ascending the heights towards success? The gateway also symbolizes that you must occasionally leave the comfort of the garden to improve it. This means going out into the external world and seeking out the elements that will help it flourish. Pursue opportunity and you will create it. Fortune consistently favors the bold. And lastly, the Ace of Pentacles asks you to tend to your thoughts. New opportunities are presenting themselves to improve your life, but you must take full advantage of them. If you're willing to do the work, abundance and success will follow. Be grateful for the riches you already possess, and more will be on the way. Open your eyes to new opportunities. And finally, in the Tarot for Change book by Jessica Dorr, they talk about then again, this hand that emerges from the sky in each of the aces in tarot echoes the motif of the supernatural aid in old stories. A magical or pseudo-magical being appears on the path to give the hero a charm that will help them when they most need it. The charm here is knowledge that is going to save you. And is that while behavior is easily influenced by the other domains, thoughts, feelings, and energy, it doesn't have to be. With practice, you can cultivate a degree of behavioral sovereignty, or what's called psychological flexibility in the science of behavior. You can develop the ability to move in alignment with your values no matter what your mind is doing. Says this particular charm comes with some footnotes that I think will also aid you. First, behavior is defined as that which can be seen doing. So if I have a thought that I'm hungry, that's not behavior. But if I cook something to eat, that is. Second, behavior can, but is not required to, defer to and even take orders from the other domains like thoughts and feelings. The hunger example illustrates how the interplay between subtle internal events, thoughts, feelings, and energy, and dense behavioral ones can lead to nourishment. Our thoughts exclaim, I'm hungry, and the body responds by preparing a delicious meal. It says folk interpretations of the pentacle suit often say that the coins have to do with career and finance, but I think these symbolize deeper human values of belonging and security. Seen this way, true security might come through knowing that you are, to a certain extent, in control of what you do and don't do, no matter what your mind is telling you. That you can think and feel something without acting on it. That you can decide for yourself what is precious and move in accordance with that knowledge, no matter what thoughts or feelings you may have in a given moment. If belonging relates to a sense of community, and a community is a congregation of beings with shared values, then the capacity to determine our values and stay the course with them is all about this competency of belonging, a sense that we are participating as co-creators of something greater than the individual. So they say that that participation is, in my view, what the Pentacle suit is all about. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in and see what the cards have to say on this topic. I'm going to be pulling a card from my Anima Mundi deck by Megan Weiler-Linden, and I'm going to sort of be thinking about this idea of prosperity, hearth and home, security and stability. How can we cultivate and create that for ourselves? How do we hold each other in that space and community and collaborate? Um, yeah, and what is the metaphorical aspects of our garden that need to be tended to, or things that maybe as we see them right now, we're impatiently waiting for them to happen. All right, okay, I pulled the Emperor reversed, and the Emperor in this deck is a Douglas fir tree. Let's see, Douglas fir. The Emperor is a father figure, stern, sometimes authoritarian, yet very wise and level-headed. Having weathered many years, he has a solid foundation and is able to provide for others. He reflects your strong ambitions and confidence. So upright, this is all about structure, a foundation, exercising authority, law and order. And reversed, it says it's about an abuse of power and need for control, a lack of self-discipline, and inflexibility. So I would say as we think about the Ace of Pentacles today and sort of maybe where we're feeling challenged right now is around this need for control, or maybe, right, we're not actually following through and doing our self-discipline with the things that we're wanting to make happen. Maybe we're sitting around and just waiting for it, like some of the books talked about earlier, instead of actually taking the action and going forward. And maybe we're sort of worshiping at the altar of power or inflexibility instead of trying to figure out ways to make things work for you or make things more abundant or see things as abundance and prosperity that maybe in the past didn't feel like enough, or just felt sort of like, yeah, okay, like, thank you, and I'm moving on. I want more. I want more. I want more. So really honoring the things that we do have, the security and abundance that you do have, and then thinking about, right, how do we establish structure, a foundation, right, perhaps like budgeting or like having long-term plans and goals, so that we can have those strong ambitions and confidence, and being able to sort of, right, not just provide for ourselves, but for others, for our community, and show up in those ways. All right, so the links for the tarot decks I talk about will be in the show notes and on my website if you'd like to look at them or purchase them. And thanks for joining me today on Everyday Tarot. Just a reminder, the podcast comes out daily, Monday through Friday for all of 2025. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.